All right, hello guys, welcome back. And this is going to be again another video for the 25 days of Winds of Winter and talking more theories. Again, another one coming from my stream, and this is going to be talking all about how Stannis is going to end up taking Winterfell and everything resulting, kind of coming off of a lot of the back of the last two, which we've done the Pink Letter and also the Night Lamp theory. So this one's going to kind of take place in that. This also came from my stream. So again, I hope you guys all enjoy, and I will see you guys all in tomorrow's video as well.
Viserys Targaryen here, and I just wanted you to know, Christmas is coming.
Okay, so let's go ahead and say that the Night Lamp theory is, for the most part, correct. Let's say that Stannis ends up beating the Freys. But let's say, again, I am someone that thinks that he's going to fake his death. There's been a lot of foreshadowing to that, right? When Stannis even saying that you might hear that he's dead. And even with, again, the Pink Letter foreshadowing to those events happening. If we take a look at that, we go, okay, a lot of signs are pointing towards Stannis faking his death. What does that do for the story? And so the Manderleys, I think, in my opinion, I think it makes sense for them to do one of two things at the battle again outside of Winterfell. One, it's going to be to ally with Stannis, help kill the rest of the Frey forces, and just completely flip sides, while still kind of maybe feigning side with Ramsay and Roose. Now, the other thing that I think makes a little bit more sense that I've kind of came around on is that the Manderleys just stay out of it, right? They just don't. They say, oh, the conditions were too bad, we couldn't find them. And that actually makes sense. That is actually a pretty good excuse. The conditions are absolutely horrible. It's going to be extremely difficult to actually find Stannis's camp. They could if they wanted to, probably. But, you know, they have a good reason to be like, oh, we didn't make it. And so that allows, again, the Freys to go in by themselves against Stannis, and I think Stannis will take them out and overcome them. So now the Manderleys, at this point, knowing that the Freys lost, right? Or they can say, okay, they come back, and more or less, they're going to be like, oh, yes, Stannis was defeated. Maybe there's a couple of Stannis' soldiers, or maybe even a good amount, right? That he has dressed up in the Frey uniforms, their clothing, and they say, oh, look, we have Stannis' sword, we have, you know, his crown, whatever. We took him out. And so that's going to spread, right? You know, we have things like the Pink Letter, and we'd have going around, you know, the north that Stannis has lost. And all while at this situation, you would now have Ramsay and Roose maybe would become a little bit more laxed about the threat in the north, thinking that their control is more stable. And you have a Trojan horse type situation where Stannis, because he has the Manderleys and some of his own men in the castle, they can open the doors. We could even see something like this, where it's just like as simple as you have Theon. Theon has already snuck into Winterfell once and taken the castle. He could teach Stannis how to do that. And so they could just do that, where you send a couple men over the walls, bam, now you have the gates wide open. And so I think there's a lot of things that pointing to, okay, how could Stannis take the castle? I'd be interested to see what your guys' thoughts are. Any other like ideas on what you think could happen here? Concerning Winterfell, will we figure out who the murderer is? I think we will, and that's another topic we'll talk about in probably another video or stream. But yeah, so getting back to Winterfell, and the really interesting part of this, like we just talked about with the Pink Letter, is like we have some information to kind of back this up, right? Like we have some information that would make sense as to if Ramsay wrote it, he believes Stannis is dead, unless he's just straight up lying, which doesn't seem to make any sense. Like, why would Stannis, or not Stannis, Mance and or Ramsay lie about that? Like, yes, maybe to motivate Jon to be the person to come fix this problem with the Boltons, or to instigate them into a fight, but at the same time, like, if Stannis is dead, like, this news would travel, and if he wasn't dead, well, this wouldn't hold any water, right? Like, Jon on his march kind of more south would realize, okay, wait a minute, it's not actually dead. Like, should I even be coming down here? Am I getting tricked? Like, those are all things that would go through Jon's mind. And so, to me, I think whoever wrote the Pink Letter actually does believe that Stannis is gone, like that he's dead. And so that's why I think it really plays into the idea, like, if we're going to have this situation in which Stannis is able to take Winterfell, it has to be by trickery, right? Like, I don't think anyone thinks that Stannis is going to siege Winterfell and take it. If he does that, like, and just actively does a siege, no trickery, no tomfoolery, he's going to lose. Like, I genuinely think in that situation he will lose. That's a possibility. I'm still weary. There's no way Roose would let that letter be sent if he knew about it. I agree. Right? That's my thing is like, I don't think Ramsay made this a public letter if he was the one to send it. You know, Mance definitely could have sent this. He doesn't need Roose's permission. But, like, if Ramsay did this without killing Roose, or if it's just something under the table, it is very interesting. Does Stannis kill Roose and Ramsay, or will that justice be given to Theon or a Stark? I think, personally, for the story, I think it makes the most amount of sense to allow Theon to kill Ramsay, or maybe a combination of her, or not him and Jane. But I think Stannis could be the one to kill Roose. Yes. Yeah. I think what results is Stannis ends up taking Winterfell, and because of that, right, we're now in a different situation, right? Because now the Bolton threat's kind of been taken out. I am someone that does not think the Boltons are going to make it to the Dreadfort and like escape. Doesn't make sense narratively for Winds of Winter to me, or the story going forward. Like, the North needs to be somewhat unified at this point. Like, by the ends of Winds of Winter, we cannot have like more civil war at this point. So the next thing is going to be leading to, okay, well, who is going to be one in charge of the North? Whether that's going to be Rickon, whether that's going to be Jon, whether that's going to be a joint regent, like, group of people, kind of like how we kind of see in the Vale with like the Lord Declarants. Are we going to have that type of situation? We're going to have like a Wyman Manderley, Jon type thing. What's going to go on there?